Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, what's up? My name's Courtney Marie. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. I am so excited for today's video. We are doing another palette bingo, but with the Morphe X James Charles collaboration palette. So this is the artistry palette, you know, unleash your inner artist and all that fun stuff. His makeup is absolutely stunning. I'm so excited to test this out. So if you're new to my channel, I love to do palette bingos here. I think it is a really creative way to sort of get a first feel for an eyeshadow palette. So basically I look at how many colors are in the palette. I don't know how many are in this palette, but I count how many colors are in a palette. I type it into a random number generator, let's say 1 to 35. Say it picks the colors 5, 20, and 2. I have to use those colors in my eyeshadow look. So I love doing this over a normal first impressions, because sometimes in palettes, you know, you're sort of biased with what colors you gravitate towards. You know, if you don't like blues, you're not going to test out a blue, or if you don't like pinks, you're not going to test out a pink. And sometimes those are like the more difficult shades to formulate, so they're really the ones that you should be gravitating towards in a review. So this is just a sort of like first look at the palette and me using it. I have used it once already, and I just did a super simple look with some of the orange shades, so I'm excited to test it out again today. If you guys want a full-on review of this palette, I can do that, but I just love doing palette bingos as like a first look at the palette. So I'm sure all of you know who James Charles is. If you don't, he is a very famous beauty YouTuber. He does amazing makeup. He has I think over 11 million followers on YouTube and over 11 million followers on Instagram. So I'm sure all of you lovely people know who he is, but let's get in and look at the palette. So this is what the palette looks like. It is quite large in size comparison. I will show you the Jaclyn Hill original palette. So it is quite larger than the Jaclyn Hill palette. Opening it up, it looks like this. So I have used it once already, and I've just taped the shade names to the top of the palette for this video so that I can tell you what colors they are. I probably will keep the shade names there just so that I can know what shades they are when I use it in videos. I do not like the fact that the shade names aren't on the palette, but you can't have everything that you wish for. Other than that, this palette is beautiful. I feel like it has every single color that you could possibly ever need, and I don't think that you would ever have to dip into another palette to create a look. So I'm just going to count quickly how many shades there are, and then I will start randomly generating the numbers for palette bingo. So I usually use 5 colors. I'm just going to take it as it comes, because if I get like, you know, a blue and then like a green and an orange, or like a purple and an orange, or a purple and a green or something, I want to have enough colors to really finesse the look. So I might just sort of like keep going, but I usually do 5 colors and we'll see how it goes from there. So I'm very excited for today's video, and if you are too, give it a thumbs up and let me know down below if there's any looks that you want to see using this palette as well. But let's get into today's video. Alright, so there are 39 colors in this palette, so let's start it up. You guys know that I do palette bingo all the time, so I'm not going to show you the random number generator, but if you literally just Google random number generator, you can type in between 1 and whatever number that you want, and it will randomly pick. So let's generate the first number, and it is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is this orange shade up the top, which is the shade Rusted. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that color for you guys. I don't have a table in front of me, so it's really hard to hold such a large palette. So this is what the shade Rusted looks like, and that is our first color that we have to work with. Alright, let's pick the next shade, and it is 36. So there's 39 colors in this palette. So pink would be 39, 38, 37, 36. So it is a shimmery blue color, which looks like this, and it is the shade 39, 38, 37, 36, acapella. So I will swatch this next to the shade Rusted, which looks like that. I wouldn't say this is like an intense metallic sort of shimmer. I think it is more of like a satin, like electric blue color. So far this color scheme is a little bit like all over the place, but hopefully we get a little bit of cohesion. Otherwise this is going to be an interesting look. Picking the next shade, we have 23. So let's count, if I can open the palette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 23 is this black shade. I was just double checking, the large pan sizes sort of threw me off a little bit. And the black shade is called Spooky. So this is the black shade. Let's swatch it. That's one swipe of the black shade, and I'm just gonna smooth it out. So that's what the 3 colors look like so far. So we have 2 more colors to pick in sort of normal palette bingo. So let's pick those 2 colors and see what we are working with. All right, number 10. So let's open her up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is this shimmery pink shade here, and this is the shade Sister. So that is what she looks like. It is very close to my skin tone, but just shimmery, if you can sort of see it there. 1 more shade to go. So we got number 6, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, it is a shimmer coppery color. So this is our color scheme. So far we have 2 mattes, which is an orange and a black, and the rest is shimmer. Alright, so for this look, I'm going to say that I have to use every single one of these shades, but if I have to dip into a couple other shades just to make the look work, then I'm going to allow that. You know, I need like a transition shade and just maybe 1 more shade between the orange and the black, because that's a big jump. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I feel like I should use sort of the orange all over the crease, this on the lid, this shimmer as a highlight, and then the blue would be really nice underneath the lower lash line. Even though it is a shimmer, I feel like it'll really pop. So let's start creating this look and see how we go. So this is what the eyes are looking like so far. I basically took a flashback and set down my lid, and I took a little bit of Tune, which is the sort of yellowy transition shade right here. This palette is really big to hold up, just to give myself some color on the lid. Now I'm going to take Rusted, and I'm going to take a slightly smaller crease brush. This is from Morphe, and I'm going to run that through my crease as my transition shade, my crease shade, and build it up on the outer corner. So I'm basically using this 1 shade over my entire lid, and we'll go from there. So I am just gonna time lapse this bit just so you can see my application, but I'm literally just taking the shade Rusted all over my lid and my crease, just over my entire eyeball basically. I just wanted to lay down a little bit of a transition shade first. Alright, this is what the eyes are looking like with that rusted shade built up. I'm gonna take the same shade underneath my lower lash line now. I think what I'm sort of envisioning for this look is this copper shade on the lid, this sort of shimmer shade to highlight my inner corner, the black sort of smoked out as a liner and a little bit underneath the lower lash line, and the blue underneath the lower lash line from like the inner portion to sort of here. So I'm going to take the shade Rusted just on the outer corner to sort of connect the top and the bottom. Then we're going to go in with the blue underneath my lower lash line. So far I'm really liking these shadows. I think they blend out really nicely. I don't really have any fallout on my face either, which is nice. So we will see how the fallout is when I get to the shimmery blue though. I might wet my brush when I use that just because it is like an electric blue shimmer shade. It's not really meant for the lower lash line. So this is what the blue looks like underneath the lower lash line. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this shade here, the black shade. I believe it's called Spooky, and I'm going to use that as liner. Actually, no. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to cut the lid and I'm going to apply this copper shade to the lid, and then I'm going to go in with that Spooky shade again as liner. So yes, I am going to wet the shade Spooky because I wet all of my shimmer shades, as I've said countless times before. So far I'm really liking this palette. I know this isn't a review. If you guys want a full-on review, I can do so. But so far the shades blend really nicely, and these brighter tone colors are some of the most pigmented bright colors that I've ever experienced in my collection personally. So this is what the eyes are looking like. I absolutely flipping love it. So I dipped into every single shade here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara, run through this look with you, what shades I used, give you my final thoughts, and do a lip. Can't forget the lips. So this is the finished look. Let's run through the look. This palette is very large. I'm just gonna move the camera out a little bit just so I can talk about this palette and not hit you guys, because I feel like I keep hitting my tripod and I don't want the camera to fall over. Okay, so let's talk about this look. So I first went in with this white shade lightly over the lid. That is the shade Flashback. Then I took this sort of yellowy transition shade and applied it just slightly there over the top, as you can see, just to have something over my eye. I then took the shade Rusted, which was our orange matte shade from our 5 bingo shades, and I applied that all over my lid, outer corner, crease, everywhere. And then I also applied the copper shade next to it, which was another shade in our bingo, and that shade is called Halloween. I then took this electric blue shade called Acapella. underneath my lower lash line and highlighted my inner corner with the shade Sister. I then took this shade Spooky and used it to line my upper lash line, and I took it underneath the lower lash line as well. And that is all the shades I used for today's look, and this is what it looks like. I will do a close-up and some photos and incorporate it into this video for you guys. I'm just going to answer some quick questions that I feel like I'm going to get. First off, on my lips I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the shade Toffee. My highlight for today, because I feel like people are going to ask, is the Physicians Formula Butter highlighter, and this is in the shade Pearl. Now for my eyeshadow base, in terms of what I used before applying these shadows, I used this NYX Professional Makeup eyeshadow base in the shade White. So this is what it looks like. If it'll stop, okay, it's really white, so it's just coming up, but it is just a concealer sort of consistency. It is just a white concealer pot, and I just used a little bit all over my lid. I bought this specifically to use it with the James Charles palette. I haven't used it with anything else yet, so I can't sort of tell you how it works as an eye base in general, but with these shadows it works really, really well, and I'm going to continue to use it because it sort of just blanks everything out. I don't use a thick layer, I use a really thin layer. Go back to the start of the video, you can see that my eyes have a slight white tinge to them, but you can still see my freckles and stuff underneath. I didn't use a thick layer of this, and I think that is a really large factor into why it works so good. But this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I am in love with this palette, honestly. It was so easy to work with. You know, these shades are so blendable. I love this look that I was able to create. I'm definitely thinking of doing a video using some of these bright shades. I really want to try these greens here or these blues. So if you guys want to see a full-on tutorial using this palette, then do let me know. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in my next video.